Go.
My name's Braden. Nice to meet you guys.
Hey man, so I seen you here before, man. Multiple times training on that. So tell them what you're doing.
Yeah, so I'm training, just trying to better myself, better my life. So started training, trying to get better at boxing, MMA, and stuff. So
Yep.
just working every day, trying to get to that point, you know.
So you live in Mustang?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I live in Yukon. You got a family here? You married? You got?
No, I live with my brother in Mustang. I'm a real estate agent.
Really?
I'm a local real estate agent. Yes, sir.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, man, I seen you coming to it, and I said, man, this is a great guy to ask.
Yeah.
But man, I want to ask you this question on my shirt, man.
Yes, sir.
Man, so tell me what you think, man. What would you say to that?
How do you get to heaven?
Yeah.
So what I would say to that is just to be the best. For me, is to be the best man possible. Better, help out my family members, help out friends. Just give as much as possible. Be dedicated to be better my life for God. So that's me. That's how I would get to heaven. That's how I think. Trying to better my life, better the people around me.
So Braden, what do you think happens to a person when they die?
I feel like you either go to heaven,
All right.
or maybe you have to restart and try again. You know?
Reincarnation, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Have you specifically ever heard what Jesus said about this, to answer this question specifically?
No.
Do you mind, man? I know I just asked you that question.
No, of course.
But do you mind if I share it with you?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I tell you, the reason why I ask people this question, Braden, is because every single 24 hours, man, you won't believe this, but every single 24 hours collectively around the world, 170,000 people would die by this time tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Every single 24 hours.
Yeah.
And so, man, I love people. I'm really concerned about where people go when they die, because 10 out of 10 people are gonna die.
Right.
And man, you have your expiration date. I have my expiration date.
Right.
We don't live forever.
Right.
So that's why I want to ask you that question, man. But I want to ask you, you talked about reincarnation. You talked about maybe heaven and hell.
Yeah.
Well, you know what you just said is Jesus actually talked about heaven and hell. This is where he resides, right? And you don't want to be wrong about where you spend eternity.
Right.
So he actually says that people, once a person dies, they face the judgment. So he doesn't necessarily believe in reincarnation. And did you know that Jesus was a real historical person? You know, he really existed as a person?
Yeah.
And he says, I'm the way to get to heaven, and nobody gets to the Father unless they come through me.
Okay.
So he's either lying, or he's crazy, or he's really Lord. He's really the way to get to heaven.
Right. Yeah.
So here's this quick message. Tell me what your thoughts is so far.
No, I'm enjoying the talk. Yeah,
Seriously?
I love it. Yeah.
What's you enjoying about it?
So I just love the knowledge you're giving me about Jesus, man. I haven't been really. I've been trying to get myself more going to church and stuff. So I haven't read the Bible fully, but I'm trying to get to that point to where I can just like read the Bible and know everything about God and Jesus. I want to learn more about the Holy Spirit. You know, so
you got to be kidding me. That's
I really
straight up, man.
you.
I'm glad you've been willing to ask. So this is going to be even more intriguing. What Jesus says to get to heaven is unlike any other religious figure in the history of the world. All right, so let me break it down by telling you, every other religious figure other than Jesus says that you can actually be a good person in order to get to heaven. As long as you stack up more good in your good column and less bad in your bad column, then God is going to look at you like a boss looks at a resume and says, yeah, you know what, you're good enough to get in. Is that kind of how you thought?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Well, this is going to blow your mind. He actually says the direct opposite. He says that nobody can be good enough to get to heaven. And let me tell you why. Let me give you the good person test, and I'll show you what I'm saying. So, Braden, this is not me judging you. This is for you to judge yourself. How many lies have you told in your whole life combined?
I honestly could not even count.
I definitely can't keep up with mine. Yeah. So what do you call somebody telling a bunch of lies?
Liar.
All right, have you ever stolen anything?
Yeah.
All right, I did too. I broke into a church one time and I stole something.
Okay, yeah.
So Jesus said, if you look at someone with lust, you commit adultery in your heart already. It's really hard not to look at someone with lust in this workout facility.
Right, yeah.
Have you ever looked at someone with lust?
Probably, yeah.
All right, me too. Ever use God's name in vain?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, what letter is in the middle of the word sin?
I.
So man, anytime I do what I want to do, who did you just put over God?
Put yourself over God.
Yeah, man, so we do it all the time.
Yeah.
So look, do you see how great the standard is? That man, if you had to get to heaven by being good, dude, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because nobody can keep the standard.
Right.
And so if you had to get to heaven based on your good and bad, you're going to stand before God and you're going to be guilty. Because we all fall short. We can't meet the standard. What's your favorite athlete in the world?
Favorite athlete in the world, probably Alex Pereira.
Okay, is he a baseball player?
He's a UFC fighter.
Okay, all right. I'll give you an illustration. So if you and Alex Pereira hit a baseball, who could hit it the furthest between you and Alex Pereira?
Probably Alex Pereira.
Right?
Yeah.
So now, but if the goal was to hit the baseball from here to, I don't know, give me a place,
So like a city?
another city.
Here in Kansas.
Okay,
Kansas
if the goal was to hit it from here to Kansas, which one of you all would make it?
Alex Pereira.
You think he'd hit it to Kansas?
Yeah.
I mean,
No, he wouldn't.
probably not.
He wouldn't, but nah, he'd have a good
He'll get it
chance.
farther than you.
Yeah, for sure.
But even if both of y'all try to hit it, nobody can meet the standard to get to Kansas.
Yeah.
Well, man, even though I think you're a good guy, nobody is good enough to get to heaven because nobody can be perfect. Nobody can get to Kansas.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, do you know what you need in order to get to heaven? You don't need good works. You actually need God's mercy.
Okay.
Do you know how to get God's mercy so you don't have to go to hell?
How do you do that?
So I'll give you the last illustration and I'll be finished, man. Thank you
No,
for
you're
your
good.
time,
No,
man. You
you're
are
perfect.
awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you for your
it's
time.
awesome.
You
I
are such a
appreciate
good guy. Well, let me tell you how to get God's mercy. It starts with just recognizing that you cannot be good enough. And you just recognize
Yeah.
that if you stood before God tonight, what's going to happen to you?
Get turned down.
Yeah, man. You go to hell, and God is just giving you what you earn. He's like a judge that's going to pay a murderer with the death penalty.
Right.
We broke the law. Now, here's the good news. The Bible says that 2,000 years ago, Jesus came and paid the fine for the sin of the world.
Yeah.
So let's just imagine you were charged with $1 billion worth of speeding tickets. You stood before that judge. Could you pay him off?
No.
No. You got to get the punishment. You
Yeah.
couldn't pay him off. I
Right.
don't care how hard you try to work,
Exactly. Yeah.
you couldn't pay him off.
Right.
But if Bill Gates or Elon Musk came in and paid your fine, the judge can do what?
Yeah. You can dismiss it.
He can dismiss the case.
Yeah.
Well, your sin has created a debt that I don't care how good you try to be, you can never pay it off.
Right.
But that's why God sends who?
So
Jesus. We broke the law. He sends Jesus to pay the fine for the sin of the world.
Right.
So instead of God on the day of judgment, he doesn't want to punish you because he loves you. So instead he sent Jesus to punish his son on the cross 2,000 years ago. And your sin and all of the sin of the world have been paid in full. But here's the problem. If you've never let him pay your debt, you can let him pay your debt off in full by just asking him for mercy. Remember I told you at the beginning, you don't need to try to be good to get to heaven. You need his mercy.
Yeah.
If you're just asking for mercy, say, God, I recognize that I am a sinner and I'm going to face the death penalty.